Alright, hello everybody and welcome. My name is Purge and we are casting the Malaysian Dota Invitational, Dota2 Invitational. I'm here with Luminous and I am super excited to cast this first game. We're going to be watching Orange versus Neolution.
Yep, Orange on the Radiant side and, Orange on the Dire side. I mean, already, the transition from Dota 1 to Dota 2.
It's rough.
I'm going to be calling the Radiant team Dire some point in this game. I'm going to call it. And it looks like Dire is going to be opening with the picks and ban. Now, if you're not really familiar with the new Orange lineup, I believe Ghost of Gamer had a really nice article. Mushi apparently is the coach, but he is playing today, so that's a little bit odd. Yamate, Ice, Extinct, Winter, these are probably some of the most well-known Southern East Asian players out there. So
yeah, I'm really excited to watch it.
Yeah, me too. I want to see how they're going to be doing. Neolution, arguably the underdog here. I'm wondering what interesting strat they're going to have in mind. Because to be honest, if these two teams play heads-up standard, I'm going to put money on Orange. So
yeah, they're definitely the most well-known team. Which team just won the last tournament? Who won SMM? Wasn't that
SMM was IG, and then Nirvana China, and then Mineski.
Okay.
And I believe MUFC was fourth.
I see. So yeah, I haven't been watching enough Dota recently. I've been spending so much time making Dota content that I don't have enough time to catch up on VODs, and I don't know if that ever happens to you, but it's kind of a problem for me. But I'm really excited to see how the metagame develops here in Southeast Asia, and the first ban that I'm really curious about is the Batrider. I mean, Batrider's a super popular hero in Dota 1. He's definitely used semi-often, but in Dota 2, I've literally seen 0 competitive games where people actually pick or ban Batrider.
I think today is the first time he was allowed into the CM pool. I think in DreamHack he wasn't allowed. In some of the more recent defense matches, he wasn't. At least from what I've known. Today is actually the first time.
Man. I think he's been in here for a couple weeks. I'm pretty sure they just.
No, I think I read on Changelog that he was in the CM pool, and then apparently he couldn't pick it. I haven't tried it myself, so don't quote me on this. But I was wondering. I was like, why isn't Bat getting picked? Because from Dota 1. You see him always being banned, but yeah, apparently he's in the CM pool now, and he's getting an immediate ban, which makes sense here.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. I guess I do remember some kind of a weird bug like that. There's been a couple occurrences of that where like Alchemist got taken out of the pool for like a week or something like that, something weird, and he ended up just being out. Some like weird bug with some interaction. And the first pick is going to be a Windrunner here out of Orange, very support versatile. Hero can solo the hard lane, no problem, and that's probably what we're going to probably see. And it really does open up your picks to a lot of different options when you can just get that difficult lane out of the way, and you don't have to worry about having to get him banned or picked by the enemy team. Yep,
definitely. Of course, Windrunner will give you the solo mid position, pretty locked down as well if you want to lane her that way, or she could lane as a support. So definitely one of the most versatile hero in the game. Getting some chat saying that my mic is a bit too loud.
Okay, I'm going to lower that down. Just read that too. Trying to remember how to adjust this. I know there's a way. I haven't done a Skype call in forever. I could lower the overall speaker microphone.
Go to tools, options, I believe, and then it's sounds? No, not sounds.
I thought you could
audio settings.
Speakers. Can I adjust that down though?
Okay, meanwhile back in the game we do see Radiant first picking an Earthshaker.
Wow.
And a Weaver.
I'm a little surprised about the Earthshaker. I feel like Tide has virtually completely replaced Earthshaker in the Dota 2 metagame. I haven't seen an Earthshaker in a really long time either, and people are just really realizing, I think, that Tidehunter's ulti is pretty much good no matter what. Whereas Earthshakers, you almost always are going to need a Blink Dagger before that starts being a big feature of his teamfight presence.
Definitely. Earthshaker, I think ultimate-wise, does more damage, but it requires a lot more setup. And here's the pick I'm waiting for. It's going to be the Night Stalker. I'm surprised that the Radiant team did not immediately pick him up. I think he's definitely one of the strongest hero in the entire Dota 2 hero pool. And it's simply because he just counters so many heroes within the pool. Like, what is actually good against Night Stalker now? What can the Radiant pick into? It really owns the Weaver. It owns the Night Stalker pretty hard as well. And now he's already naturally tanky. He has already decent armor. Now you put a Frost armor on him as well. He's going to run through the entire team. He doesn't care about the nukes. He could silence a heavy nuker as well. And I feel like right when this Night Stalker pick up for Orange, I think Neolution is getting heavily outpicked.
Yeah, not to mention they followed that up with that Lich. I mean, already, not only is Night Stalker, like you said, a good counter against Weaver, but then they also have Sacrifice or Dark Ritual. And those are like, in European Dota at least, almost always see Night Stalker get banned. I mean, maybe this is just because Batrider wasn't in the pool, but almost always I've seen Night Stalkers in that first round get banned out just because he is so dominant in the mid game when he ganks. And sometimes he can just end the game because of how good he is just shutting down enemy carries or ganking.
Yep. And Night Stalker is one of those heroes that could really use, many different items. We definitely seen in DreamHack, Cinderin got a Yule Scepter on him, and that was, working pretty effectively. So let's see if we're gonna see somewhat of more standard items, such as Treads, Vanguard into Acceptor, or we're gonna see something nice. I wonder who's gonna be playing the Night Stalker. I really want to see Yamate playing Night Stalker. He's one of the more aggressive player there is in Southern Asian, and Night Stalker, one of the most aggressive hero in the game. So that's kind of what I'm expecting. Chen is going to be the ban, Enchantress being banned. So both teams really afraid of jungling play.
Yeah, probably because of major pushing. Those heroes are always so great at just taking fast towers. And if you execute in micro really effectively, I mean, the power of those heroes at level 1 and level 2 is just ridiculous in comparison. There's so much HP and auto attack damage. I do really love aggressive Night Stalkers, though. I saw Kuro play that, or Kurokai, whichever way you want to call him, play Night Stalker so fantastic in the Gosu Cup. Like, his control and knowledge of when to back up was just so much that it was just amazing. And I love seeing Night Stalkers played that way. But I have seen some very good Yule Scepter play. I've seen Cinderin play that in with his team in the East Sahara League as well, and somebody else got a Yule Scepter as well, and they just juggled an anti-mage throughout an entire team fight with double Yule Scepter, and it really does fit the hero very well, I think.
Yep, if it turns up, we'll talk about why it's actually a really good item. But if not, then we'll move on. I think Venomancer is that ban, or I can't even tell right now. I don't.
Is
that Venomancer or Viper? Okay, all right. See, I don't even know, man. This is a brand new game. I only play like 20 games here, and Venomancer getting rid of the AOE team fight. Which, I mean, if you picture Venomancer on the dire side right now, Chain Frost plus Venomancer ult, and all the nuke damage from Windrunner and Night Stalker, that is a scary lineup to go up against. So pretty smart ban from the Radiant team in that regard. And I am a little bit surprised that Ancient Aberration is being banned up by the Dire. I'm wondering if they just don't want to deal with the hero, or maybe they're thinking of picking some type of healers they want to abuse as well. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, he is so good. His ulti is just amazing, especially for team fight coordination. I would expect a little bit more maybe out of Orange wanting to play the hero, because I've seen a lot of very good Ancient Apparition coupled with Night Stalker ganking going on. But perhaps they're just worried about the slow, the cold feet, or maybe they're just starting to appreciate the hero a little bit more. He is very versatile, and his AoE, or his ulti, is just so nice. It really makes a big difference.
It looks like both teams waiting to pick it up, and we're going to see a clockwork. So right off the bat, Dire says we are going to go gank. Of course, Night Stalker does lend themselves some okay mid to late game presence, but I mean, the big bulk of their power is going to be early game gank. So Orange says we're going to win this game quick. And let's see if the Radiant could respond. In terms of turtling play, they do have the hero for that. Shaker really good in terms of disabling both, tier 3 hero at once. Witch Doctor, pretty much the same thing. These two heroes are really good against Tower Diver, which, we see Clock as a Tower Diver. Windrunner can be one. Night Stalker definitely one. So definitely look towards the Radiant heroes picking up mass TP scroll. If one of their heroes gets ganked, they will TP in immediately and use those casks, use those fissures, and help each other out. And there's a Viper pick. Okay, now this one has wings flapping, so I know that's a Viper.
Yeah.
And Viper pretty good against melee heroes such as Night Stalker.
Yeah.
And massive slow.
Yeah,
really
slows are just so good against any kind of like semi-carry or hard carry who is a melee hero, because any slow hero can't be attacking an enemy. It's so much easier to just kite them, and especially with like a really long duration slow, like a Viper keeps or being on the Night Stalker, he's going to be so much slower and not going to be able to get a lot of damage out. And I really do like that Clockwork pick, like you said. He's just such a good counter to heroes like Witch Doctor and Earthshaker if they can initiate on him. But in that sense, he's really good, but I haven't really seen much of a Clockwork recently either. I think teams are starting to undervalue him a little bit now. And I'm kind of curious what they're going to do with their lanes now, actually. Clockwork can obviously solo the difficult lane pretty effectively. They may end up just shifting the Windrunner into a tri-lane as a result, so we'll see how that ends up working out for them.
Yep. Or they could put the Windrunner as a solo, Clock as a solo, you dueling the Night Stalker and Lich. That's... we'll have to see. I think it won't surprise me at all here if Dire picks up a jungler. And no, it's gonna be a Void. So
that's weird.
I'm a little bit confused about this.
Me too, man. Yeah, where are they going to put all their guys, you know? I guess unless they play Windrunner as a hard support and throw him into the tri-lane or something like that.
That has to be it.
And I really don't necessarily like that much. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I haven't seen a ton of success like that. Maybe it's just because I'm so jaded and always seen a solo Windrunner getting the fast phase boots mechanism. But it can work. I know it can work, but we will see how it works out.
Yep. Not only that, I don't like the Void here because Chronosphere is going to render the Night Stalker somewhat useless. It's going to render the Clock definitely useless. If the Clockwork gets a pretty nice 2 or 3 man Clock, the Faceless Void have to use a timed walk in to kind of do anything. But the synergy is there. Chronosphere plus Chain Frost is nothing to laugh at. It does some insane mid-game damage. Laning is going to be issue. Like I said, the synergy between the 3 melee heroes is going to be issue. I'm scared. And Radiant team says we're going to pick up a Slardar. Which, what do you think about that? I think it's somewhat as an answer to Lich's Frost Armor, but not too sure whether it has its place here either.
Well, I mean, it's going to make Night Stalker a lot easier to kill. That's part of his problem. He does have pretty high base armor, plus Frost Armor, like you said. But just like, I mean, even the Slithering Crush is so good. 2.5 second stun duration in an AoE. That can be so effective if you use it effectively. And it's just going to really keep everybody easier to kill, at least with Viper. So I'm expecting them to probably tri-lane with the Slardar here. Unfortunately, it's a dual melee with a ranged Witch Doctor, so it's not going to be obscenely aggressive, but they do have the hard disables there, so they should be able to probably power through a tri-lane. I think they have a slightly more aggressive tri-lane, or better options.
Yep, let's see who's playing what here. Extinct is going to be handling the Windrunner Winter on that Clockwork. Mushi playing the Kiri Faces Void Yamate, alright, on that Night Stalker. And it's going to be Ice, ironically, on that Icy Lich. And they are roaming around in the enemy jungle, probably dropping off a couple of wards. Yes, the magic bush spot being warded. This ward will allow you to block off both camps. And that's going to stop the jungling play for the most part for the Neolution team. It looks like Neolution doing a little bit more standard dueling lane. And it's going to be Shaker, Weaver top, Witch Doctor plus Slaughter bot, and then very stable Viper solo mid.
Alright, and for the Neolution team, looks like Sue's going to be playing the Weaver. We have Marsh on the Earthshaker. Tha is playing the Viper. These are some weird names, man. Gyuri on the Witch Doctor, and finally Nick, the weirdest name of them all, playing the Slardar.
I think it's only weird because we don't recognize them. But if they have some marvelous play this game, we will, of course, remember them forever.
Yeah, I guess everybody always picks, like, screen names and aliases that are all, like, fancy and supposed to look cool, and they're all just, like, Sue. This is very underwhelming. Nick. He's trying to sound like a badass, obviously. Right.
And it looks like in the mid lane it's going to be the Viper versus the Night Stalker. Night Stalker does not have a stout shield. You can see that he did not spend all 600 of his starting goals, so definitely going to be going for that quick magic bottle. Let's see if he's going to get his last hit in. Meanwhile, the top lane is going to be a Lich and a Faceless Void, and then on bot it's going to be Clockwork and Windrunner. It seems like Windrunner getting the farm. Very, very interesting laning.
Yeah, that's for sure. Maybe Windrunner's going to take all the easy CS and he'll just launch rockets every time there's one outside of the range or something weird like that. And I'm actually very curious about Lich's starting items here. Just going for a Tango Ironwood Branch and saving some money. I don't know if he dropped the wards, if he was the one that purchased them. I'm going to assume so, that or Courier, but not really sure what he's going to be rushing here. Maybe a fast headdress or something weird like that.
If I could do a little bit of dairy crafting, maybe if he realized the top camp was blocked off, he would have used that 200 gold that he didn't spend for a quick pair of sentry. Noticing that it wasn't blocked off, so he said, okay, we'll just pull. He could use that for a quick upgrade if necessary, or a quick boost of speed. Yamate finds a Shaker. I do like what Shaker's doing right now. He's really keeping Yamate back, saying, well, we're going to give Viper a little bit easier time in terms of laning. Yamate, really, he's going to be up to this bottle really soon, so I think he's going to be mostly fine.
Yeah, but I think laning the Viper against the Night Stalker is a really good decision. Viper is just such a strong laner. He hasn't been played a lot in the last year, but that's basically the best time to shut down a Night Stalker is in that first daytime when he's still in lane. If he doesn't get a crap load of farm, it's really going to impact how well his ganks go when it becomes the first nighttime. So I think that's really smart to pick up the Viper against him.
Yamate goes to get the top rune top. Not really important that he got the invis, but more important that he denied it to the Shaker. You don't want to have an invis Shaker walking around, setting up some really good fissure traps. So, you know, mid lane is kind of a lackluster. We do see Night Stalker getting that magic bottle delivered to him, and he does have it now. Bot lane here, Windrunner and the Winter, they're not really doing too much either. Nyx here is getting complete free farm with the help of that Witch Doctor. And on top, it seems like Weaver doing fine him as well. He's not really getting shut down. So, you know, we were kind of expecting Orange to be dominating because they have the more known players, but Neolution says, well, we got the better lanes, it seems.
Yeah, Yamato doing a good job on the mid lane, casting the voids on the Viper. He's just about out of regen, popping his last salve here, but he is about 200 gold away from a ring of health. Probably going to go for a fast Vanguard since he already does have the stout shield, but he's actually going to buy a boots of speed and a salve, and that is heading his way now. So we'll see if Yamato can get a little bit of advantage spamming that void constantly and doing nice rune control.
In terms of CS here, we do see Viper leading the way as expected, 11 and 4. Weaver's got 7 and 1, and we do see Nick on the bot lane with 5 and 2. Mushi not doing too bad, 13 creep kill, but Yamate on the mid lane only 5, and he's gonna fall behind. Yeah, he's gonna use that bottle like you said. He's actually gonna go offensively on the Viper. Viper at quarter HP, but with that orb walk, he can always turn around and juke Yamate to death basically. So Yamate out of bottle juice at this point, gotta be really careful.
Yeah, but that's more regen missing from Viper. He's going to have to bring himself another salve unless he can farm up his next regen item. We'll see how this lane goes. It could be a very important moment. Maybe he looks like he might just bottle crow it. He's thinking about it, and yes, indeed, that's what he's going to do. Sending the bottle back to base to get in a free refill. He's still got 15 seconds till the next rune, and the chances of him getting that are not necessarily sure. Weaver on the top lane, actually getting pretty low HP. Looks like he's probably going to go Shikuchi first, which is a good decision in my opinion. He might have to pop his salve here, but also getting close to something like a ring of regeneration, or I'm sorry, a ring of health.
Looks like top lane, the rune is going to be double damage. Viper snatched that one up, and now Yamate really in trouble. He's really going to depend on that bottle crow, but not if the Viper comes in for the kill. Viper is level 5, so that means no cooldown on that poison attack, and he could really easily orb walk the Night Stalker down. Night Stalker is still regenerating up with that bottle. So really actually tame early game. I'm surprised that no first blood has been attempted on most part for either team.
Yeah, no kidding. There's a tri lane going on in the bot lane with that Earthshaker, much like we expected before. Does he get the block off on Windrunner? No, he's just going to eat a tree and get through. But still no pulling going on, all because of this Observer Ward blocking those two camps. So those two support heroes not getting much EXP, both of them at level 3. Now Earthshaker's still level 2, and Slardar at level 4, he does have his ring of health, but no boots yet, so not completely accomplishing a lot. It's a very survivable dual lane with the Windrunner plus the Clockwork Goblin.
Yep, meanwhile on the top here, Lich doing a fairly good job sacrificing, pulling the creep wave back. Weaver always have to stay back, you're afraid of the nuke, and he also have to keep track of his mana. If it gets low enough where he cannot Sakuchi, then he's basically dead. Lich doing an exceptional job in terms of harassing the Weaver. Weaver does have his Ring of Health, so he's going to be okay, but be careful when that Void hits level 6 with a Chronosphere. He can jump in, reveal you with that Chronosphere, and go for the easy kill.
Yeah, it's always so gratifying when you pop that Chronosphere and the invisible heroes become visible and you just do your best to pick them off. Sometimes it works, and I think they're going to have a good chance of doing that, so he will have to be very careful, especially once Lich gets another sacrifice off here. Just got enough for another Frost Nova, and it's going to keep him in that really dangerous area of health. So we'll see if he ends up getting picked off. That may be where the first blood happens.
Yep, back in the mid lane though, there's going to be a lot of engagement. Viper don't have mana for his ultimate. He's down to 200 health and just 100 mana. Still haven't had that regen item that you were talking about. Night Stalker, maybe he's going to get the rune here, and if it's a really good ganky rune like Haste, yeah, wow. Okay. I got some profitness going in the future, and he is going to popping the Haste immediately going to the mid lane. Can he find the Viper? Let's see how aggressive. He's going to be really aggressive. TP's going to get cancelled, and that's the first blood. Yamate picks that one up, and he's going to win the lane all the way back for him. Nicely done.
Yeah, that was really great. I really loved not only that you called the Haste, that was very, very well done, but the fact that the quick decision making by Viper, I don't even know if he had vision of Night Stalker coming, but he was basically like, I have to get out now. And Night Stalker going for the really aggressive dive and spotting where the Viper was and catching him right before he TP'd out. So that was a very, very nice play.
Yep, nicely. That just it turned night as well. So, well, I think he used the artificial night, but it's going to be turning night soon as well. So that's going to give Yamate a little bit of time to leave the lane, given that his enemy just died. And he, let's see, he's going to go top or bottom. Weaver can be ganked if he has picked up Fear, which he does have a single level of. He's level 7 now. So, yeah, let's see if he's going to go off the lane and give some EXP to Lich, or let's see if he's going to just stay in the lane and get more farm. We'll have to see. Yeah,
Earthshaker kind of sapping EXP. This is always good to do when there's a gank opportunity, but there's a stun. Oh, bad fissure from the Earthshaker. That just might be it. No, he's going to try to TP out. Are they going to be able to stop him? It's going to be close. Oh my gosh, one hit to go. The orb, the little poison orb is flying across the map, but it's not going to do anything. That was so close. I'm pretty sure he would have scored that kill there using that nether toxin.
Yep, good. Again, good decision by these players. And recognizing when to TP out Yamate. Somewhat lucky, I suppose, that a Fissure did land on the wrong side here, and he's going to go right to the bottom lane. And if he could get a gank, let's say on the Witch Doctor or even on the Slaughter, would be really nice for them. Winter, level 3, he doesn't have his cog yet. At level 2 Rocket Flare and a Battery Assault. Windrunner, level 5.
Is he just sitting back and letting Windrunner get solo XP? That must be what's happening. Why is he... that's a really big level discrepancy between those two heroes, considering neither of them has left the lane yet.
Yep. But mid lane might be an issue here as we see Night Stalker comes in. Wow, look at the nuke damage. It was absolutely easy. Rocket came in with a really tiny nuke, I suppose. Of course, with the nuke on the Frost Blast and a Void. That's all they needed.
Yeah.
Now Yamate walking around with 2 kill streak and a haste rune.
Yeah, that's just really good coordination. That really makes a big difference in the early and mid game. Usually we see that with an Ancient Apparition, but it definitely works with the Clockwork. And it looks like Witch Doctor, wow, almost dying there. Good decision making by Extinct. He decided not to go for the second hit, and as a result he ends up dodging the Slaughter stun that just may have been his death since he was within tower range. That was a really, really good decision making there. And will the Rocket be able to score the kill? It's going for him. It's looking good. Is it going to get him? A little too far forward, and Witch Doctor does not die. In the meantime, I miss a double kill with Void on the top lane, who picks up Earthshaker, and who else died?
It was the Weaver. Weaver went down to a Chronosphere like we discussed earlier. Chronosphere revealed the Sakuchi, so nothing the Weaver could have done. And then Night Stalker came in. Shaker was a little bit out of position. A single Void, a time jump, couple of right clicks, and Mushi managed to score himself a double kill, so he's ridiculously farmed. Viper, meanwhile, answering back on the bot lane, grabbing himself a kill on the Clockwork. Really nicely done there. So with the 1 in 5 advantage here, as what we expected earlier, Orange pulling ahead with a really aggressive lineup.
Yeah, and I'd put a lot of favor on that as a result of that Night Stalker. I mean, what is his assist count right now? 2, 0, and 1. So 3 of the 5 kills on their team so far are as a result of Night Stalker being there. I mean, Void obviously got a good double kill, which is not easy to do in the early game when all you have is power treads. But Night Stalker really contributing a lot of stuff to their team so far early in this game.
Yep, on top lane here, I really love what Mushi's doing. He's like, you know what, I don't care if I'm up against a range here. I see you, you don't have as much regen as I do. I have a Stout Shield for block. I have the Ring of Health to match you. I have a Treads. I'm going to walk up and hit you. Or if you're going to Sakuchi, you're going to waste mana. If you don't Sakuchi, I would just kill you. And right now here we go. Night Stalker's going to find Weaver. Weaver jumped to the right side, and he is going to be feared. Nice time lapse back. And he's just using every single spell to stay alive.
Yeah, that was a really, really good play there. I was a little worried for him. At first I thought Night Stalker was misplaying just a little bit because it was nighttime. The vision isn't that great. He could have maybe waited till that Sakuchi ended and then go in for the fear. But that was his decision making, and Weaver made a really good decision going towards the river and using the time lapse to get out of danger.
Don't quote me on this. I think Night Stalker gets 1800 range, sight range at night.
Yeah, he gets really good range, but I was saying Weaver couldn't see him.
I see.
Because, you know, it's a very short range. It's like 400 range or 500 range or something at nighttime. So I don't think Weaver knew he was there. And then he ended up running into the lane. I think he could have been a little bit more patient and maybe gotten the kill on the Weaver if he ended up being patient.
Meanwhile, here we have Dire running down with the 4-man gank smoke pop on the Lich and the Night Stalker. Night Stalker is just king at this phase right now. They do spot a donkey flying. Maybe they'll kill that one. They're going for it. Oh, no, they dropped the one. No, they're going to go for a hero. Okay, I got a little bit too excited. No, Nick is not being initiated upon. Meanwhile, Void on the top lane gets another kill. And this Weaver just not having his good time.
Man, he has 400 HP left and he dives on the Witch Doctor. There's the support TP. It's from Viper. They're not going to be able to catch up to him, I don't believe. And he's going to go for a really fast Battle Fury here, sitting on the Ring of Health and the Claymore. Now Earthshaker easily picked up on the bot lane. Orange is just picking apart Neolution here in this game. And now they may end up taking this tower immediately. Actually, Clockwork's going to TP mid. Going to get some free solo EXP, which is great. And I think they're going to be able to take out this tower in just a second.
Yep. And now suddenly with the bot tower losing, Slaughter is going to lose a bit of his farming room. Weaver can't farm on the top lane anymore, given that he just got solo killed by the Void.
Yeah.
You know, 10 minutes in the game, that's never a good sign here. Void, by the way, going to go for the standard Battle Fairy build. And it's really not looking good. They have a team that's really requiring in terms of farm. Both Slaughter and the Weaver needs a bit of farm. And so, same thing with the Viper, but they're not going to have the room to farm it because, well, the lanes are getting pushed. And Night Stalker is unchecked at this point right now, 1 in 7.
Yeah, tower at the bottom sitting at about 600 HP. He's got an Invis-Rune. He will be ready to gank anybody that comes to defend this, so in a short matter of time that will be dropped. Slardar just sitting on a ring of health right now. He's probably going to be going towards the Vanguard to keep him more tanked up, but I'm kind of surprised that Faceless Void has just been dominating the Weaver at this point. I know that Poor Man's Shield obviously makes a huge impact on damage that he takes from Weaver, and from there he just relies on his ulti and a little bit of time lock. I haven't really been seeing his bash percentage so far in this game, but it must be pretty good considering the fact that he's just been outplaying the Weaver.
Yep. Viper says, well, let's try my luck. I'm going to go on top lane, maybe do a little bit of lane control against Mushi. And Orange says, nope, here comes Yamate with his gank, but maybe he's running into a little bit of trouble. He is invisible, and luckily for him, he's going to scout out so many people here, when that's going to be a good dodge for Orange. Now they could, you know, coordinate accordingly with a couple guys, and it looks like the Orange is going to meet that challenge as we see Lich and Winran coming top. We're going to see a huge battle coming up, and yes, Chronosphere is up, Chain Frost is up. So let's see if we're going to see a perfect kind of ultimate initiation from the Orange lineup.
It just became daytime. He does have his ulti ready to go. He's got about 15 more seconds on his Invis-Rune, and it looks like he's going to back up here. I don't think he's quite ready to engage this, despite the fact that Viper is very underfarmed, just sitting on a ring of regeneration. And there is the smoke on 4 heroes from Neolution. And are they going to scout out the rest of Orange? There we go. Everybody knows where everybody is now. There's the Shackle Shot, going to catch the Slardar. The Chain Frost bouncing to neutral creeps. It'll immediately go back into a couple of heroes. Earthshaker almost dying. Slardar barely gets picked off there. Void blocked off by the Fissure a little bit, but that's going to be it for Neolution. They lose a team fight big time. 3 heroes down, and will they be able to pick off the Witch Doctor?
They're not done. Mushi waiting for the time lapse here. Would they have Rocket bringing the Witch Doctor really? Well, he's out of mana at this point here. And let's see Mushi preying on those bashes. He does have Tread, so he's gonna turn back Mushi. I think that was a free kill for him, but they're gonna go for another one. Weaver is gonna be their attempt. It's gonna be a lot harder to kill the Weaver than a Witch Doctor. I think Weaver's gonna make it out fine. So Orange took what they could. Was 3 for sure kill. I think they could have took a couple more, but they're gonna go back to the farm train. I mean, they're up by 9 kills, so let's you know, we should calm down in terms of calling out mistakes or whatnot.
Yeah, that's true. Unfortunately, that Chain Frost just loved bouncing those neutrals. It really spent a lot of time in the air. I thought it was just going to destroy in that Chronosphere, but not quite the best bounces, and that Fissure block resulted in a couple of heroes staying a little bit alive longer than they necessarily expected. I don't know if they would have gotten the Witch Doctor, but he did a good job and ran away. And he's actually just not getting Maledict at all, just opting for the Cask and the heal, which I think is a good decision when they're this far behind.
Yep. Looks like Neolution's going to go do a little bit of work on the mid lane. Maybe if they could push a tower, get themselves a little bit of gold, they should be okay. But no, it looks like Mushi really not afraid at this point. He's going to just farm against 3 or 4 heroes. The Cask is going to be bouncing just for harass him back. And that's going to be mostly it. I'm going to pull out the difference in gold tab here. We do see Dire leading by 5,000 gold.
Wow.
They're really well off this mid-game.
That is a crap load for 15 minutes into the game. I don't know how experienced you are for seeing. I mean, it really does make it so painfully obvious how big their advantage is. And let's look at the map for a second. They only have 1 tower, and they have a 5k gold advantage. That is ridiculous. That's literally from how well they've been farming, and also 9 kills. And 9 kills isn't even that much, really. It doesn't add up to 5k. That just shows you how much the gold per minute is for the Dire team over the Radiant team.
Yep, Dire seemingly having the better lasted, better farming players. And Yamate right now, he is farming in daytime. I think I agree with this choice here. You know, it's daytime. You have your night always available, and you have a TP scroll. So looks like he's gonna pop the haste, and he's gonna go something maybe expecting a gank. No, he's gonna find himself another haste. Never mind.
What happens if you activate a haste when you have another haste? You break the light speed barrier, right? I think that's how it works.
Yeah. You break the game too, and it's bug crash.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Looks like Lich is actually smoked up with the Clockwork, who's also now level 6. He's stacking very basic HP items. Looks like he may go for an urn after. And actually 3 heroes pushing the bot lane. They want to pick up some towers to try to equalize this gold differential here, but they're a little scared. They didn't know Night Stalker was there, and he's just got a point booster right now, so it looks like he is going to go for a fast Aghanim Scepter.
Yep, Lich, ooh, Night Stalker is gonna run into Shaker. There's a silence. Can they nuke him down? It's the question here. Night Stalker chasing the Viper. Chain Frost is gonna bounce, and there are no creeps here this time. Double kill goes to Ice here. Can he get the triple? No, looks like Yamate's I'll take this one. And Orange up by 12 kill at this point here, and that gold different tab.
I'm scared to look.
Higher and higher. Yep.
Just creeping along. Usually it takes a little bit to update. And Faceless Void, once again, using that Chronosphere on the top lane. Missed the dive, but I see the blood. Weaver is dead. He's got his Battle Fury already. I mean, he's just destroying. Just absolutely outlaning this Weaver here. It's just a rolling ball. Just keeps going, and I don't think it's going to roll in Neolution's favor anytime soon.
I don't know, man. They gotta work some magic, and I don't know where that magic is coming because, well, Shaker not even near level 6. Witch Doctor does have level 6, but I mean, how much damage can a Death Ward do against, let's say, a Chronosphere? And it's really looking bad. I really have no idea how Neolution is gonna turn this around.
On the bright side, Slar does have a lot of tank items, power treads with the Vanguard. There's a lot of heroes actually in the game here that have double gauntlets, and I think Lich is the one with the urn, so I'm not really sure what the rest of them are building. There's a little bit of stunning and mana casting on the mid lane. They're trying to defend their towers still, and they're doing a really good job at that. That's definitely something to be said about the Radiant team here. The game could be pretty much over. There could be a Rax attempt if they had a couple, 2 or 3 towers done. It really does make a big difference. And Weaver's still trying to farm on the top lane. He's actually going Perseverance first. Looks like he may be opting to go for a Lincoln Sphere, which I don't necessarily agree with the lineup. It's going to be great to stopping either Fear or the Void, but that is going to be about it.
Yep. Well, I guess stopping the Fear is all that matters, whether you survive or not. So I can see where he's coming from, but I kind of agree with you. I don't think that's the best item choice because you will lack the damage if you go for the Lincoln Sphere. Yeah. But right now, if you look at this, the Radiant's hero position movement, they always roam in 2 or 3 because they are so afraid. Looks like it's going to be a 4-man gank attempt on Mushi. Mushi with the Time Walk should be okay. And because the Radiant team's moving as 4 or 5, you can see that they're really falling behind in terms of levels. They are really... I'm just pulling up the EXP per minute tab, and they are so behind. So not only are they behind EXP, they're behind in gold as well. I don't know how they're going to come back, if they can come back.
Yeah, it's really rough when your EXP per minute and your gold per minute are under 100. It's very, very rough. Just shows how much you're missing. Looks like Orange is going to take the mid tower while everybody was sitting up top. Void not threatened at all by those nukes, and looks like they may swing top now. Actually, Night Stalker's in position. He's got another invisibility rune. He's controlled every rune this game, it seems like. And will they jump? He almost got into tower range, so he's actually going to go hide in the side trees. Pretty cool stuff. And wait till his team gets there, and then maybe pop out and surprise them.
Yeah, I do think that Neolution is fully aware that there is an invisible hero nearby because they popped the smoke and it was immediately dispelled. They're like, what?
I didn't notice that.
So they're like, okay, well, let's just get the heck out there. And yeah, Dire says, we'll just take this free tower and add to a little bit of gold difference. Winter is going to go Mass Bracer. That's what he's turning those gauntlets to. Extinct, by the way, got the face boot. Mecha is finished. Lich's got the urn. Support items are really, really in the favor of the Dire team as expected. Battle Fear completed on the Faceless Void. This was completed for at least a couple of minutes. And Night Stalker going for that Axe Scepter as expected.
Yeah, he's going to sell his Poor Man's Shield. Apparently going to sell the Poor Man's Shield over the Ironwood branch because he needs to make that wand later. And then he's going to pick up a Butterfly, but big initiation on the Viper. Such a good shackle shot out of Extinct. And there's the ultimate from Faceless Void, but wow, a little miscommunication there. Clockwork hooking in, gets trapped on the outside. But it doesn't even matter. His farm is so good that he just clears them out anyways with a couple auto attacks. Now we're looking at a 1-17 game, and Orange is so well poised to just finish out this game so strong.
So, I don't want to sound like a Neolution hater, but, well, thanks for watching. Let's go to next game, because this one is sure over.
Unfortunately, it's not that easy when you're live casting. We want to absolutely savor every moment here, because it may be another 20 minutes till the next game starts. So I'm going to enjoy every second of this and point out lots of really cool things, like how tanky Clockwork is. Isn't that wonderful? And he's got Arcane Boots, and Orange is going to rock this. I just want to see some really good ganks. I mean, not that they haven't shown that to us already, but there's got to be cool stuff that can still happen here.
Well, I'm having a grand old time seeing a Weaver owning a Ogre Mauler, because that's probably the only thing he can own at this point.
Yeah, that's definitely true. If you guys have any questions for us right now, I think this is the best time. And
this is the best time.
We're going to have lots of time to ignore what happens in the game, or at least not care too much about it. While Void farms, it gets that Battle Fury, I'm sorry, the Butterfly up, and just really increases his bash numbers.
I do think there's a couple of messages about your
stream choppiness.
Stream choppiness.
Well, You guys, I don't know, it's kind of a weird problem. I'm streaming at pretty high quality, so if you guys are having issues, you could maybe reduce the quality from your end. So it's not necessarily your internet connection, sometimes it's just like the bandwidth through the internet. I don't know, it might be me. I have a pretty good internet connection though, so I'm not sure if it is me. I could reduce the quality, perhaps, and restart.
That's for another game. It looks like Neolution, they definitely still hope that they can win this game, and I do like their attitude. Don't want to give up yet, because they do have a late game. They do have Weaver, they do have Slaughter, which it lends themselves into the late game pretty well. They're still very far from that. Weaver does have 1500 gold. Let's see, he's going to save up for that ultimate or for that Lincoln Sphere, or he's going to pick up a pair of treads. Shaker has boots.
Dang, this game's over.
Witch Doctor has boots.
He's gonna walk into an Echo Slam. I just know, man. It's gonna happen. I was actually pretty astounded at Viper's HP pool. It's not very healthy. I feel like it could be better. And the Dire team's actually gonna pick up the Roshan. They still have the Courier there. He's just hanging out, and somebody's initiating. I think that's Night Stalker. Yeah, he's got a double damage. Wow, is that a dead Witch Doctor? Holy crap.
Acceptor is finished, so good luck juking this one. Shaker drops a fissure to delay, but Night Stalker says, whoa, I see 3 guys, let's run in. 1v3, Windrunner right there as well, looking for a Shackle. It's gonna miss, but that's gonna give the Dire team all the free advantage to walk in. They could just basically walk over this mid tower if they really want to do so, but no, Msia says, let's keep on farming.
Yeah, Slaughter running in there, popping his haste, trying to get an amp damage off, and looks like Clockwork is looking for a hook opportunity. I don't know if they realize how low Viper's HP is, but he's actually going to take a couple more nukes, and Slaughter not sitting too extremely healthy either. This will be the last tower left, and as soon as this goes down, that's going to be a Rax attempt, and Clockwork initiates. Going on the Slaughter, he gets silenced and nuked. The Chain Frost's going to do a crap load of damage, and that's 2 easy heroes down. Earthshaker also going to fall. That's 4 out of 5. The only person up is the Witch Doctor, who just respawned, and I think as soon as they roll up the hill and take out a Rax, we're going to see a GG.
Yep, 3 Chain Frost, 3 double kills for Ice. You can't ask for anything more.
Yep.
Oh, you can ask that the kills goes to the carrier, but hey, Ice says, I did my job, give me them kills. He's up to 2k gold on a support Lich.
What's he gonna buy? It doesn't matter.
Blink Dagger time!
Blink Dagger,
Dagger
Monkey
time.
King Bar, obviously,
Monkey
because
Mask of Madness.
G did that one time, so it's obviously the new build.
Or Desolator, that's pretty cool.
You could get a medallion. I've seen a lot of medallions on Lich.
Okay, that makes too much sense, so let's not talk about that.
Yeah, that's true. He should buy Flying Courier recipes and just fill his inventory.
Build your own Korean Air Force and, you know, join your battle alongside.
I'm confused by that statement. Could you explain it?
Well, in pubs,
yeah.
When you're only really hard, especially when you're only really hard with Viper, right?
Okay.
You buy a whole bunch of mini Vipers, and you fly them in alongside your big Viper.
Yeah.
It's an intimidating force. They run.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. That would be cool. I wish people use the mini Viper Courier more often in pub games in Dota 1. It was like there's so many cool little like flying couriers, and they would always stick to like the boring like airship, and it was really disappointing.
Yeah, the Frost Dragon's pretty cool. So.
Yeah, that's true. I would agree with that. Alright, any new items? Butterfly, Aegis. A lot of people just sitting on Magic Stick. Surprisingly, not going all the way for the wand. And
yeah, well, it don't matter what they go for now, because they have 18 levels to bump their item advantage. And it looks like they're gonna just. It really feels like they're slow rolling this, but they're gonna take the spot tower. And I think they're gonna just walk all the way to high ground. Butterfly finish on the Faceless Void. It's been finished for a long time. 2k up still on Faceless Void. So
wow, and Windrunner just finishing a pipe. Mech pipe, 25 minutes here. The only person that's died is Clockwork Goblin. Night Stalker doesn't even care. He's just gonna roll up the hill and initiate. His team wasn't even close to being ready. And actually, we're gonna see a missed hook shot from the Clockwork Goblin. There's a miss shackle shot as well, but Void is just gonna destroy these 2 support heroes. He was taking his time between hits even.
Yep. It took 6 hits, so 2 heroes down. And they're just running all over the place right now, chasing heroes. They don't even care about... It's like, oh, what is this? Killing buildings? Nah, we wanted to kill heroes.
Do you know what Siamla means?
I don't.
I'm gonna assume it means...
GG!
Probably, but it's too early to tell. There's another time lapse from the Weaver. He realizes the best way to avoid dying here is just to leave his own base. His base is not safe anymore, and the Rax will drop shortly. There's the pipe, and they're still fighting it out here. Have you seen any Swarm yet? Yeah, he does have the Swarm ability. I just have not seen it apparently. Witch Doctor looks dead. And a little bit of slow orb walking on Faceless Void. Man, they just did such a good job keeping the ball rolling and keeping their advantage in the game. Just virtually no errors out of their support heroes, especially, I think. Not that they had a lot of support heroes, but...
Right. So, I mean, it's really too easy to see that Orange is completely dominating at this point. 1 is 26. We could pull off the experience tab. We could pull off the goal difference tab. But what do you think was that got Orange here? Like, what was the point with the game where they were just so ahead that they never looked back?
I think the point where Void got his second kill on Weaver solo, that's where things get ridiculous. I mean, at that point, your hard carry differential, I mean, and not to mention, Void got a really fast treads, which allowed him to be aggressive on the Weaver. I think that made a really big difference. And Night Stalker didn't have like an amazing start of the game. He had a pretty good middle of the game, I think, which ended up being enough. And of course, no kills happen on Windrunner Crystal Maiden, or I'm sorry, Windrunner and Clockwork Goblin, so as a result, the bot lane that was pretty stun heavy just got a lot of farm, and that was it.
Yep. Yeah, that team fight at the top forest where both teams, it was tense for a moment. They both, you know, smoked around, they were waiting, but that Chain Frost, even though it bounced on creeps, it got themselves a double kill on the Lich, and again,
yeah, that
really never looked back then. So GG's being called up by Neolution. And that's pretty much the game.
Dang right. Alright, we have plenty of hours left in casting, guys. If you guys are watching on VODs, we're recording everything. If you want to see how these teams keep going for the rest of the tournament, we literally have like 8 more hours of casting to do, or 7 or something ridiculous. So don't go anywhere if you're on the live stream, guys. We'll be back in just a second. And once again, this is Orange versus Neolution. Orange pulling out an extremely convincing lead at the start of the tournament.
1 to 30. Doesn't get better than that.
Could be 1 to 31. All right, it's a big
or 0 to 30. But
all right, don't go anywhere,
I
guys.
digress.